When I started at the Curzon, before I got the job, as I say, when we lost my dad, my sister Dorothy had a boyfriend, so she wanted us out the way, you see. So my mum says, you can come with me to work, because Mr. Eaton, the manager, he was a lovely man, and he'd been there since it opened in 1936. And, hello, how are you, son? Big man like Sydney Greenstreet, if you know who he was. And I went in there, and I used to sit in the pay box with my mum at the back reading comics. And then as I was growing up, I was about 12, 13, and the chief operator came down, and I said to my mum, who's he? She said, oh, he's the man in charge with the projection room. Do you think he'd let me go up and have a look? So she went over to him, she said, my son wants to know if we could see how it all works. Come on. And he took me up there, and he says, a lot of stairs to go up, you know. So when we got up there, he says, come on. And it was a big iron doors, you see. And he slid back like that. And when I walked in, and what I saw that day, I'll never forget it. I always thought they were little projectors, you know. They were massive. Oh, I'd love to work here. So he said, go and sit over there. He said, when the film starts, sit over there and watch some of the picture. And I was sitting in the corner. He comes through with a cup of tea for me and everything, you know. So he said to me, come any time you want, come again. So I was going when I was at school. And he says, now look, he says, how would you like to thread the projector? I said, what do you mean thread? You know, put the film through. So he gave me a piece of film you could throw away, a length of it, you see. And I was trying to do it, and I couldn't get it right. And he said, don't worry about it, I'm not going to jump on you. So I learned it in about an hour. Yeah, see what I mean? So they were showing Bing Crosby in The Bells of St. Mary's. It was an old film they were showing. And he says, now, when we start the show, I'll show the adverts and the news, Movie Soul News, and the trailers. He says, now, you stand by number 2 machine. And when I close the curtains on the end of the trailers, he said, you start your machine and you knock the switch down, right? And then bring this down to open the gate so the picture can get on the screen. He said, don't open the curtains until the certificate's gone. You know, like when it opens up like Paramount Picture. So it opens like that. So it was running and everything. He says, now go and get the other reel ready for the other machine. I threaded that up and that was great. I'm just going down to see Sam in the office, the manager. So I said, oh, okay. Well, it was coming to the end of the reel of this film, you see, and I was going, oh, God, I'm going to sing, you know. The other machine was there, didn't know what to do. So I thought, well, I've seen him do it, the chief. So as it's coming to the end of the reel, you probably noticed on a film, in the right-hand corner, a little ring comes on in the corner. Well, that's start the machine. And then 12 foot of film goes through, and the next one comes on. You switch over. That's the show you like, you know. So I went over, my heart was going like that, and I was going, bang, and it was all right. Oh, great. So I was on the last reel just before the end picture finished, and he walked in the projection room. He did it very well. I was sitting down there watching it. I didn't go in the office. Yeah, it was great. And then make a film up, you know. When they come in cans, big cans like I've got out there, it comes in reel 1, reel 2, reel 3. You've got to splice them all together to make the whole film, you see. And when it goes back, you cut them down again. And when we had the 3D with the glasses, that was on when I started. We had Kiss Me Kate, Howard Keel, and Hondo with John Wayne. What was the other one we had? Vincent Price in A House of Wax. I couldn't be there while it was being shown because I was only young, you see. Should have been an X, and I couldn't be in there with an X. So he said, I'll tell you what if you want to do. He says, come in on your day off and come up the back stairs, up to the projection room, he says. Sit in the corner and when it starts, go down and watch it, you see. Oh, I was made up, wasn't I? So I went down when it started on. And what's the name came up. I don't know why. The manager, and it was something for the chief operator, you know, like when we order stuff. And he must have seen me sitting in the corner and he says, what are you doing in here? Come on. He says, I'm not being funny about it. He said, I get into trouble because you're under. And that's the worst thing I've ever done in my life in the cinema. Yeah, yeah. And another time, you know, things go wrong now and again in cinemas. We had an operator at the Forum and he says, I've been in the business years, he says, and I've never made a mess yet. I said, oh, everybody has. So we were showing The King and I at the same time as The Futurist because 20th Century Fox took over the two cinemas to show all their pictures. And it was 7 reels, that's right. And we broke the reels down so it was easier without sending it back. So we had part 1 there, part 2, 3, 4. So I was in the staff room. I was co-second operator. There was a chief, a senior, and me, and a young lad. And he come in the rewind room because you had to wind the reels back. And he took the reel out and took it in and threaded it in. And the scene was Yul Brynner talking to Deborah Carr. I am not a barbarian. And you switch machines to the next reel. And he was singing, shall we dance? Of course, there was some lovely words coming out. Anyway, on that day, my mum would come up to the box. You call it the box. And his mother used to make calendars. And you know, silver paper, different coloured, like what's in on sweet papers. She kept all them and made pictures out of them. Beautiful. Like an old 1800 woman with the lovely dresses on. She made it lovely. And she was talking to Roy. He was on the machine when he switched it over, of course. He swore like anything. My mum went, it's all right, Roy, I didn't hear this. I better get downstairs. And Roy said, you better go down and tell the manager what's happened, because we had to stop, you see. And the other fella who took the reel in, oh, I don't want to go down. So I went down to the office and knocked on the door, and with him being a big man, I don't want to go in here. Come in. So when I walked in, he said, well, what's wrong? I said, we've just been off the screen. We had the wrong reel on. Well, thank you for calling me, he said. Instead of the people coming out told me. How long was it off the screen? I said, nearly 10 minutes. All right. Did anybody come out and complain? We said, no. That was it. Yeah. Yeah. And then when we showed the 10 Commandments, it was on for 6 weeks. And it was that good that we had a full houses like for it. And then we brought it back again for 2 weeks. And it was an awful long picture, over 3 hours. Well, at the end, Charlton Heston has got the tablets of the 10 Commandments, and he's given them to John Derrick. Put these in the what's-her-name, you know. And he's walking away, he puts his hand up. And you know the windows where the picture goes through? At the end of the room, there was another square there. So when you're doing the lights, you know, the switch, the colours and everything, we hadn't put the piece of glass in because we've been cleaning it, you see. And I was sitting on the box where we put the records in, you see. And the chief was, Stan, was going home on his motorbike. And you know when you got all your things on and everything. And it didn't run off the film till 10 to 11. But you had to stay until the place was empty, all the people. So he shouted, get up that bloody, what was it? Get off that bloody mountain, we want to get home tonight. And the old lady, the bell was going in the box. Who done that? Oh, we're in trouble again. And at the forum, yeah, when we were showing horror films, one of the lads there wrapped himself up in like bandages, you see. He had to stand still, wrapping it all around his face. We said, well, cover your mouth and it'll shut you up. So, well, we left it round there. And the chief operator, Harry, he said, get a bit of red ink and put it on like blood. And he was going to go downstairs. So we said, hey, the boss is coming up. So we went in the toilet. We heard a scream. It was the wrong toilet system. Oh, yeah. All laughs. And what was the other one? And the dummy was put downstairs in the basement. So the chief, Harry, bring it upstairs, bring it upstairs. So you know your overall you wore in the box. He put it on it, he says, we're going to go on the roof when it gets darker. So we went up there and we got a rope round it, you see. Wrapped it round its neck. And we were going like this over the roof. You know, over there, staff room windows. And it got stuck. And me and Alan, my friend, I've known for over years, we were holding his legs so as he wouldn't fall. And he was going. And all of a sudden, the head come off and he fell into the street. He said, go down there to get it. I said, I'm not going down. And you know what it does with, you know what, one of those, it's like powder. And it was all over the place. Anybody seeing that coming down? Oh, laughs.
The Exorcist?
Oh, that was terrible. That's to have to show. 9 weeks of it was. People were running out the cinema. Scared stiff. We had all the ambulances there, people fainting and that. And what we used to do, in some scenes to frighten you, we had our hand on the thing to turn it up, you know. 9 weeks, yeah. Oh, there was some good pictures over the years. And when we were showing the film Giant, James Dean, and every cinema they went round to show, I went to see it again. James Dean. Great stuff.
You did?
Yeah, because I liked it. But my favourite two films is The Jolson Story, Larry Parks, and Gone with the Wind. But I never ever showed it all the time I was in the job. Never showed that film. So when Eric will tell you this, Eric Norgate, he says, come over to the forum, he says, we run that film off later. You've finished your job. Come over, you can just close the curtains and say, well, I closed the curtains on the end of it. Yeah.
And is that what you did?
Yeah.